In a world where movies are never safe from opinions, three voices rise above the noise. Two brothers and a friend ready to praise, roast, and overanalyze one film every single week. From the scenes that blew our minds to the lines that made us cringe, no plot hole will survive. This is Seen It All. Special thanks to Die Criminal for the killer opening track. New episodes every Thursday. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Seen It All Movies. Now grab your snacks. The show's about to start.
Hello, everybody. My name is Richard. I am here with Amber and Joe, and we're going to be talking about the summer movie that started it all, Jaws. And thank you, everybody, for joining us and seeing it all. And then I'm going to pass it to Amber first. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Amber. Richard and I have been friends for a good while, and we always try to watch cool, fun stuff. So here we are in a podcast.
All right. Thank you very much. And then back to you, Joe.
I'm Joe. I'm his brother, and I like to golf and watch movies. So this is perfect.
All right. I love it. Okay, guys. So, we all watched Jaws. Before we start and talking about the movie, I know it was Amber's first time watching this movie. How about you, bro?
First time, yes.
You watched it
Yes.
twice. You're
I had
dedicated.
to watch it a few times and do cliff notes on YouTube, but yes.
All right, so if people don't know, Jaws is about this killer, great, I think it's supposed to be a megalodon shark, about 20 feet tall, a lot long, that takes over a little town and starts killing people. And at the end, he survived it. So, let's start out with you, Joe. What did you think of the opening scene of the movie? The whole coming up and taking that lady down and eating her up. Was it scary? Was it not scary?
Of course, it was scary. I can only imagine what it's like in real life, but yes, they did a good job making that scary.
What about
So,
you?
yes, unlike most people, yes, I don't want to step in a beach in a while, but yes, it was scary.
So for me, I feel like the concept came through like, oh shoot, beware of sharks. It was just, I feel for today, it was a little rough. But other than that, I mean, I can only imagine what it seemed like back then in 75, first time and on a big screen. Probably scared everyone watching it.
So you were saying 75. So I was talking to a Gen X, right? And they told me that they went and watched the movie Jaws and they fell asleep and it was too slow and boring for them. Well, since you guys, this is your first time watching it, you guys agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like, yes, it was slow, but I also have a toddler at home. So a lot of things that he watches, I don't want to watch. So I think my brain now is trained to pay attention to things that might not be super interesting or pop out all the time.
Well, I watched the movie with my wife, and she thought it was cheesy, so I kicked her out. But for me, I like all that stuff. I like, especially Paranormal Activity, which she thinks is cheesy too. So she tried, but I still believe it's got its main features of being scary and doing its job, especially with the music. It's good.
So here's a question for you. Since was that the first time actually your wife watching it?
Yeah, well, she tried, but yes.
So
But yes.
okay, I'm gonna jump a little ahead here because I need to know the first time the shark jumped out the water. Was that scary or was it not scary for you?
Not for her. She just laughed, unfortunately. For me,
Yes,
it was, but not for her.
yes. My wife did the same thing. She just started
Figures.
laughing, and I was like,
Yeah, I
"What's
know.
so
Probably,
funny?" Must be a girl
I
thing.
don't
How
think it
about
was
you,
that
Amber?
cheesy acting, but
Well, I mean, I think we're talking about the time where he comes close to the surface and gets the chum, right? So
No, no, no. It's I think it was it the jump that his first appearance? No, it was it? I thought it was
yeah, it was the
before that.
chum where they were like dropping all the feedings, and then he just kind of goes
Come on.
like with the dead eyes. I was like, that didn't even look like something alive.
Yeah, that's part number 4 in the question. Come on, man, chum some shit. That's when the shark first showed up.
Oh,
Classic line.
oh no, I thought it was like a nice jump scare, but yeah, my wife just started laughing. So I was like you, where I was like, okay, you can leave now.
Pretty much, yes. And she's like, they made more of these? I'm like, yep.
Wow, wow, cold-blooded.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so
Just like the
okay,
shark,
so
yes.
for you guys, who or what was the scene stealer in the movie? Uh, I'll go last. I'll go last. One of you guys.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
Cool.
I'll go first. Sure. The scene stealer for me were actually were so two the two fishermen. Like every single time a new fisherman got introduced, for me it was like a whoa cool. Now the story's shifting. So the first time it was like nails on the chalkboard and everyone having to focus on him when they were having the community meeting. And then the second time was when Quint came into the scene. For I loved Quint throughout the whole movie. So to me that was the scene stealing.
Then, so Quinn, if we haven't seen the movie, he's the main fisherman of the whole movie. He's the one that goes and hunts the shark later on. All right, bro. What about you?
Yeah, basically, it's the obvious. I mean, the shark steals the movie, but the way they did it was perfect. Not many scenes attacking, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but when the kids try to fake the shark, they didn't put the music on there. So I'm sure that was a questionable part for Steven Spielberg to add the music or not. But I agreed with what he did, not to put the music. But for me, that was the Steven Spielberg that keep you in suspense whether
Yeah,
it's a shark or not.
yeah. I didn't notice about the music. I didn't pay
Yeah.
attention to that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, you know how much studying I did for that? That just, oh, jeez.
Well, I
Oh.
only watched it once.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh, I
wait,
was
wait.
doing YouTube for 3 hours this morning. Oh my gosh.
For me, the scene stealer is the what's his name, Brody. When he's sitting down, and they do the close up of him when you see the shark in the water. He's just sitting there, and they do that close up. And then the other scene stealer, which is the most famous stealer, the scene in the whole franchise, is we're gonna need a bigger boat. So those two are like the
Oh,
two.
yeah, that, yeah, we need a
Yeah,
bigger boat. Classic
yeah.
line, yep.
The way he did that. You know, fun fact, what's his name from Speed took that scene because he gets up surprised without doing a lot of facial reactions and everything. And he took
Right,
that
yep.
so he can show that when the thermostat hits a certain number, that he knew he was going to die, it was going to blow up in Speed. And he used that Brody's way of acting in that movie to do Speed. So hey, I gotta give that up to them. So that was
Yeah,
a
no, it's
fun
classic.
movie. All right, bro.
Yep.
Let's start with you. What's that one line, the best line, the best quote that you thought in the whole movie? I think I just said my favorite quote. So.
Well, that's one of them right there, but we talked about it earlier where, the shark, he's feeding the sharks, come on, who wants to done some of this some of this shit. For me, that was classic right there. And then, of course, the shark pops up and all his blood everywhere. So that's my ultimate scene right there for me.
I
Because
don't
who the heck
remember
wants to throw a
seeing
chump?
that. I know he
Huh?
was throwing the chum. Is that where he gets up and he's before he says, "I want"? Okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. 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 At least that's what, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, who wants to throw a chum right there with the shark? Oh, yeah.
All right, Amber, what do you?
Um, so since we're talking about a line, right?
Yeah, yeah, the best line. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, my line, I had a couple that kind of did something a little differently. So for me, the funniest line in the whole movie was, "Here's to swimming with bow-legged women," with Quint and the guys when he gave him his like, what is it, moonshine or homemade liquor.
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember
thought
that.
that was hilarious. And then one of the lines that I thought was like a good turning point to kind of like a good impact was when they were all in the hospital and the mayor finally realizes like, oh shoot, I just did all this selfishly and didn't care about anyone. And he's like, my kids were on that beach too.
Yes.
I wrote that down
Yeah.
as one of them.
Yes. I agree actually. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger boat is my favorite, and then also that scene with the governor mayor saying that my kid's in that water too. So those two are my favorite because it actually make you kind of like him even though he's slimy throughout the whole movie. So that was my one of my favorite ones too. All right, so let's go to plot hole. So, do you guys have any scenes where there was a plot hole? We'll start with you, Miss Amber.
Yes. So my biggest plot hole was in the first like few minutes of the movie. When they're at the beach, they've been drinking, the girl goes skinny dipping and the guy's like waiting to go back in and after her. When she gets eaten or pulled down by the shark, she's at the same water level for like the whole attack scene. I'm like, a shark isn't gonna just swim at the same level, and swing her back and forth. So to me, that kind of took it out of me right away, and I thought, oh no, I hope this doesn't set the scene for the rest of the movie.
Wow.
But I understand why it was done for dramatic effect. My brain.
All right. How about you, bro?
For me, it was when the people complaining they can't go back on the beach for 24 hours. And one of the lines was pretty cheesy. She said, "Oh, 24 hours, like 3 weeks." So I don't know if you remember that. But I'm like, really? I mean, come on. Unnecessary, but yes, like, I can kind of tell, yes, it's going to be a long time, but come on. That
Yes.
was my, yes, a little cheesy, but yes.
Uh, for me, it would have to be kind of like what Amber said at the beginning, but not because of the lady. It's more because it just felt like in reality, that kid would have been arrested for murder. He would have been number one suspect. He would have been in jail, and then they're all just walking like, I don't know. She was here, like, like, well, you're number one suspect. So that was my little plot. I was like, hey, I think that guy killed her, But but I know that was like to start the movie and move it forward. But to me, that was a little bit like nobody even questioned that he might have killed her. It was just like, I have the shot or something, or she drowned, or she just ran away. Like, it's all nonchalant. That's weird.
Yeah, like how are you not prime suspect number one?
Yeah, you were with the victim the whole time. So that was a little weird for me. Um, all right. Deleted scene you wish existed. So is there anything in that movie that you wish that was added to it, or maybe deleted, or something in it that would have made it a little bit better for you guys? We'll start with you, bro.
Yeah, when I was doing my Cliff Notes on YouTube, the one of the things that popped up was the music score. The lead scene, I guess he was contemplating on, well, I don't know if he was or not, but for me, I was contemplating whether I should have played the music or not for when those two kids were pretending they had a shark.
Mm,
And I know they have 3 or 4 scenes with the actual music because it was the actual shark.
sure.
And I guess they deleted the music for when the kids were pretending it was a shark. I can see why they did that, but for me personally, I think it would have been better if they had put the music in, even though it was fake. But it can go either way. But that's for
Yeah.
me right there. I wish I had added that music for the fake. scene with the kids.
Makes sense. How about you, Amber?
Know about deleted scene because I think it's hard being in like today's age, trying to look back and say, oh, you know what would have been impactful, because we've seen so many different developments like in the film industry. Um, but I mean, I guess I didn't like how throughout the whole movie the youngest kid just kept getting thrown off to the side. Maybe like show, hey, I care a bit about my kids. I don't know if that like coincides with the 70s, but
I wouldn't know either.
For me, actually, I like the pacing. I like all the aspects of it. I don't want a deleted scene added to it, or I don't want anything onto it. I think it was just good as it is. The only thing for me would be delete to remove would have been the random fat lady walking into the water. Like he just pans her walking into the ocean. So for me, I thought she was gonna get eaten, but no, she survived. She didn't get touched or anything, So
Yes,
maybe,
yeah.
yeah. So that to me was like, why? I don't need to see her go into the ocean, or maybe just
yeah,
edit half
it's
of that or something.
yeah, like poor lady, she's just trying to live.
I just want
I
to go on
think.
the beach.
All right, guys. So before we go on, I have three random questions to ask you guys. Who
Well,
would
I didn't
you
stand for that
recast?
one.
Who would you recast? What character? Who with? And, who would you swap it and why? So, Amber, you can go first.
All right, so my biggest issue with the movie was I did not like Hooper at any point of the movie, at any point.
That
So
that's
that's my reason, and that's who. But the person that I think I would recast in there, unfortunately, when this film came out, he was really, really young, so he wouldn't fit it at his age. But like him in the 90s would be great. Would Bill Pullman, just because he's kind of goofy. He's a little, he's likable, but you're kind of like, I don't trust him, and I don't know why. But at least you can. For me, I'd be able to watch it and be like, oh, okay, I'll just ride the journey.
that was the role that started everything for him, and you hated him. Wow.
I hated every second of him being on the film.
Wow. I don't know.
Honestly, I liked all the actors. Sorry, I'm not familiar with at the time. So, but I think everybody played a good role. I
Did
wouldn't
you?
change anybody.
So,
Yeah, I did.
uh,
Jeez.
what about the his wife? What was so memorable? That was my choice. Is his wife? I think she needed to be changed. She was blah, like nobody remembers any of her lines, what she did, how she helped him. I didn't even know he was married. Like I watched the whole
Oh,
movie and I
jeez.
was like, oh yeah, he's married to her. I don't know. I think she should have been replaced with an actress that would have popped, like would have made that scene extra, would have made you stand out. So I just thought
Well, I guess
she
I
was
gotta
just
watch that
lost.
again then.
Huh? But
I
Yeah,
guess I gotta watch it again. I missed that with the
yeah,
wife. Okay.
she's boring. You don't remember
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole point. Yeah.
her. Yeah. So that's for me.
Yes.
I didn't think she was that great. Um, and then do you guys have a worse line in that movie that you guys always thought it was too cheesy, or it was just like, oh man, get that out of here? I know, I think my brother said it already. The 24 hours feels like 30 weeks or whatever. But
Yeah, that was pretty cheesy. Yeah, that's my thing.
what about you, Amber?
So for me, I would have taken out the repeats of "you're gonna need a bigger boat." It was repeated like two or three times, and
Yeah,
it stole the thunder of the first line. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
we
that's
get it,
true.
we got it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
Yeah.
remember it being repeated that many
What?
times.
Just some fan.
That was my favorite line. You're ruining it for me. For me, the worst line. in that movie. I totally forgot it. See, you got me so upset with that. Oh yeah, it was Hooper or whatever when he's on top of the
Hopper.
boat and he's just randomly complaining about Quinn being mean to him. So he's just like talking to himself. He's like just getting upset. I was like, I don't need that. That was just boring. Like it's nothing that helps the plot or move the story along. Yeah, we get it. The whole boat's him in the boat is him being mad at Quinn, so I don't need that extra. So for me, it was just that randomness of him just being upset on top of the boat while he's driving.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know.
point. Yep.
And then was there a wait, what just happened scene for you guys? You can start first, bro.
Uh, let me look at my notes. Amber can go next. Wait
All
a
right.
second.
Well, for me, it was when the boat had been hit by Jaws a few times and the water started creeping in. And then I guess someone like hit one of the lamps or something down, and I forget what happened, if it was either a fire started or they were worried about a fire starting, but then Quentin comes over and he starts putting the fire extinguisher like content on the water, like the water itself. I'm like, what was the point of that? But I don't know. I don't know how that science works. Maybe like oil still burns on top of the ocean.
Other
So when I saw that one scene, I guess they called it the Indianapolis scene speech when Hopper's talking about, or the other guy's talking about details about getting bit by a shark and all that stuff. And then Hopper in the background's like, "Whoa, what?" That was for me like the same feeling when he was talking about details about getting eaten by a shark. Like, wait, what now? What? That's
thing
what still for
that's
me.
based on this true story too, so that's even more
Yeah, I know.
scary.
That's the thing. So I was like, "Whoa, wow, okay." And literally, that was more like 10 minutes almost. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
fun
was
fact
well done.
about that scene, he did that actually uh, completely wasted, and no, but then they had to reshoot it because it was awful, and then he
Nice.
apologized to what's his name, Steven
Oh,
Spielberg
great.
for doing that, but that was his next scene. But I have to agree with you.
Okay.
Man. I think that that scene with him talking about that Indianapolis
Yeah.
made me appreciate him more. I know that Amber likes him being a jerk, but that made me appreciate him more. That hey, he survived through all this, and it's an amazing story. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you on that. So how do you guys feel about that movie? Do you guys want to, as Amber said, cue it or screw it?
Jesus. I'll tell the wife that one later. Okay. So, yeah. Jesus.
You can start first, Amber.
Yeah,
All
please.
right. Well, for me, I feel like anyone who is either into movies or wants to get into movies should watch it. And my husband and I had this conversation where it's both a classic movie and a cult classic. Classic, obviously, because it's the first blockbuster of its kind for summer, but it's also a cult classic because there's now this whole following about it and it's celebrated and like people get together just to watch this movie.
Yep, it's true.
How about you,
So
Quinn?
cue it.
Yeah.
But yeah, hear it. No, it's definitely, like I said, it was the first time watching that, and I'm glad I saw it and saw it again. And I haven't seen the other ones, but no, I definitely cue it, and I recommend watching it. I think there's a special too on Paramount Plus or something. I forget about the whole Steven Spielberg, how he almost didn't make it. He had trouble with the shark.
Yeah, the whole production was horrible with
The
that
whole
movie.
production,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
that's why we never saw it. For
So
me, I
there's
have
a
to
lot
agree with
to
you
it.
guys. I'll say cue it. There are some scenes I didn't like. It was sometimes a little slow paced, but for me, definitely cue it. It's a classic. I consider it a blockbuster. I don't know about cult
Yeah, that's good.
classic, but I I agree with that. So what about the vibe check? Do you guys think the movie hit emotionally every part that, the scare, you know, nervousness, everything. Do you guys think that it actually did hit all the categories for you guys, or did it miss something? Where wants to go?
I feel I feel like for me it did pass a vibe check. Like I feel like the the intent was for you to feel how scared and chaotic everything was. And like the scene where the kids, were pretending to be sharks. I like the quick cuts to everyone being panicked and everyone, trying to fight for their lives, old people getting trampled and carried out of the water because they couldn't do it on their own. Like to me, I was like, that for me was like, cool. This is what you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel calm and not in control and chaos.
I like that. Yeah. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, emotional for sure. I mean, I wasn't scared of the beach before. Now I am. So I can imagine what people went through at that time. So anyway, yeah, did a good job on that.
So for me, it hit all the aspects except for the emotional development of him as a dad with his kid. Because when that kid was in the water and the shark just swam by him and then he passed out, what was it? I forgot some stupid he shocked. Yeah, shocked. I was like, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, what is this? Being shocked? I mean, it could happen. He's a little kid that threw me off. I was like, oh, well, this gets a wimp. But yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm cold blooded.
Well, Richard,
Wow.
but Richard, would you survive
Yeah,
if you were in the movie?
I would because
No.
I would be a beach goer. I'd be on the beach looking in. I would not be in that water. I would not be. Let's
Yeah,
go
we
to the
know.
boat.
We know you made that clear many times. Yes. Yep.
Would survive because I can't swim that far out, so I'd be waist deep.
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't survive. No way. I'll freak out. No, thank you. So,
And then the last thing is, would you guys have an alternative ending? Um, I'll say for me, yes, because I did
oh,
not like
jeez.
the ending. Them just swimming to shore and with a voiceover of them talking, I was like, that's lame. Could have been something else, or I don't know. It was you just went through that whole, you just killed the shark, you just lost everybody, and then Hopper came back, so you're excited, and then you're just paddling towards the credits.
So
It was kind of lame to me. So something different would have been better for me.
so basically you're saying it was like watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Whoa, no, no, no.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And
It's
words
like
in
what
my
happened.
mouth over here. Whoa.
Depends which one you're talking about.
I block you right now.
So, yeah, that being said, everything was good for me. Let's not mention that name again.
Yeah.
Please. Uh,
What about you,
it's like
Amber?
that will be a next picture being chosen.
Right.
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh my gosh. I think for me, I don't know about an ending scene because it's kind of like, you were living life and doing your own thing, and now you've just, even though this huge thing happened, you have no other choice than to just keep living your life.
Pretty much.
But I feel like the music during the like intense hunting scene was too like whimsical and like fairy tale like. I wish it would have been something a little more intense.
Wow.
Wow. Amber with the
But
hate
then
today.
I was like, Spielberg.
Sounds like my wife. She's like, it's too cheesy. It could have been better. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Come
Hey,
on.
it's a woman thing. My brother and I love it. All the girls hate it.
I noticed the connection here. Don't pick Jaws too.
Yeah, I'm not. But yes, speaking of that, yeah, my wife thought it was
Oh, jeez.
cheesy. She didn't like the effect. She's like, people got scared of this. I was like, wow. But her feedback, I know it's about us, but just like, her feedback, and which I agree is the best part of the movies when the shark swims under the water and you get to see it. To me, that was done really well. So,
Yeah, that's
uh,
true. Good
you know,
point.
even though some people didn't like the shark, you know. But any last words before we check out over here?
Last words, if I were watching this as a teenager at 75, I'd have nightmares.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to
I'd
be.
have nightmares.
You can still be now and watch it and have nightmares.
I agree. That was well done. At that time, it was well done.
Yeah,
And to this point, like you said, I still would feel no, thank you. I'm good with the beach. So, well done, movie.
all right.
Well
Classic.
done.
That's it for today's episode of Seen It All. Two brothers and a friend with way too many movie opinions. Follow for more hot takes. Tell us your worst lines or biggest plot holes in the comments. New episodes every week. Grab your popcorn. We'll see you on the next scene.